Alright, for this recipe we use 2 large bananas, 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 caps of vanilla extract, 1 cap full of almond extract, 3 eggs, 1 cup of almond milk, 6 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 12 tablespoons of room temperature butter, and 15 grams of yeast. Now we're going to pour our milk inside a bowl. It doesn't have to be almond milk, you guys, but that's what I had. You're going to pour your sugar and your salt in. Now you're going to go ahead and put your 3 eggs in. That's the standard way of starting off a brioche loaf. You're always going to need those top particular items to start off a brioche loaf. Now we're going to take our almond extract, drop in a cap full. Now we're going to drop in our 2 capfuls of vanilla extract. Now the almond extract is optional. You don't have to use that, you guys, but I chose to use it to give it a pound cake-ish kind of feel. Now your butter. Take a look at this. Zoom in. Look at that. Does that look room temperature to you? No. And because it's not room temperature, it's always going to give me like butter clumps inside, as you can see coming up. Now those didn't cause a problem in the end with our recipe, but I just don't like seeing them there. Now we're going to go ahead, as you can see, we're mixing in our 15 grams of yeast. That seems like a lot, but you're going to need that. Now onto our bananas. You're going to peel your 2 large bananas. You're going to mash those up in a bowl, get them prepped. When you mash those up in a bowl, you want to get them prepped and whipped to where when you cook them, you don't have large clumps of banana chunks in there. You want it to give its flavor into the entire loaf. That's why you're going to mash it and do a real good job of that. Some people would probably use a blender for this, but I don't feel like it's necessary. Definitely use a bigger bowl for something like this because you're really going to want to get in there and whip this up real good. I just used the bowl I had that was most available to me. It worked out, but try to go bigger, y'all. Now, you're going to take your all-purpose flour, but I'm just going to tell you now, I would have did this with bread flour if I had it at the time, but if all you got is what you got, that's what you're going to use. The all-purpose flour does work, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't lift as high as the bread flour would have. As you can see, our dough is going to become extremely sticky. Now remember, we needed 4 cups of flour total, okay? Remember that. But what did I go with? I started with 3 here. And our 4th cup of flour, we're going to add that in when I'm mixing and tossing this up later. After we let this rest for about a half hour here, it's going to be extremely sticky. But hey, that's what you're going to need. And as you can see, I transferred it into a bigger bowl. Look how big it got. Now you're going to flour your work surface. Now this is where you're going to end up working in that 4th cup of flour, okay? All that flour in there, just about all of it, is going to be incorporated into the dough. Look at it. Man, it's just hanging on there. But I'm telling you, it smelled like banana cake, you guys. I ain't never even really heard of a banana cake, but if it was, looks like it's getting close to being what a banana cake would have been. At this point, mostly a dough scraper is going to be your best friend when you're dealing with a dough this sticky, this moist. So at this point, we're going to be grabbing flour, sprinkling it on it, and flipping it, working it into itself. The cool thing about what the flour does, it also is going to help keep it from binding to your hands and the surface. And you're going to have to know at how fast to keep incorporating more flour. So as you can see, you're really going to have to get to moving on this to make it work out. Keep adding flour, flipping it onto itself. Then I divided it up into 2 pieces. Couldn't see it because I was moving fast here, but it works out like that. So I'm going to be spraying my non-stick loaf pans. Even though they're non-stick, I'm still going to spray it with a little touch of canola spray. Doesn't have to be canola spray. Any non-stick spray will work. And these are 12-inch loaf pans from Wilton. Real good pans, you guys. Maybe I shouldn't name them unless they sponsor me. And there's our first layer of it. Now we're going to take out our other large loaf piece, give it a little flour, mix it up, chop it, roll it into 3 balls, and we're going to put that right on top of the others. The whole reason I did that is to just let the spread out a little different versus one large clump. We leave it to proof for about 1.5 hours, and then we're preheating our oven. Now when I proof any breads or anything, I tend to use my microwave because it stops drafts and it kind of maintains temperature a bit. It's a good spot to proof if you don't have an actual proofing box. Now here's the oven. I'm going to go ahead and sit that in there, but what you're going to notice, we're going to put in something for moisture. That's a pot of boiling water. We use that to add some moisture inside so our bread crust doesn't become too hard. Thank you, Xavier. Move that over for me, will you? All right, we close that up. Now we're just taking a little peek. This is at the 18-minute mark. At 18 minutes, we turn the oven down from 450 to 440. Those 10 degrees difference are going to make an extreme difference on your crust. That 10 degrees is going to be the difference between a hard, crunchy, nearly impossible to break crust and something a little bit softer. See the little banana pieces in there? Now, while that's finishing up its cook, we're taking about 2 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons. I think it's about 2 teaspoons of sugar. A few drips of water. We're going to mix that up because we're making a glaze. That would be 2 teaspoons. So after 36 minutes total, we're going to go ahead and pull this bad boy out. We are done. Even got the heat waves going. Look at that. Now remember, you want to glaze this up as soon as you pull it out while it's burning hot. That heat helps turn that glaze into a sugary crisp. And there we have it. We are done. Cut it up for him, Max. Let him see what's inside there. Man, knife went through like butter. Look at that interior crumb. Beautiful. Look at that crust. Nice, sweetened. Breakfast. Imagine this with your coffee. Starbucks don't do that. Fresh hot bananas. Look at this. Look at it. You know you need to get closer to this. French toast. I think we upgraded you. Fried bananas on the top. It's lovely. Yeah, this video was worth this wait. Look at that. You know you want it. Hey y'all, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. You know I need y'all.